Okay, hello everybody. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Mandela Effect and a couple examples that I don't know if you noticed that I have noticed. So I'm not going to talk about the most popular ones because they've been done to death in all the videos you've probably seen online. But for starters, Ortho's "We'd Be Gone." It looks like "We'd Be Gone" because there's an E missing, like in Febreze. That one's been talked about. And I think I might have mentioned the ones that I noticed in Rocky. My brother and I would walk around when we were kids for some reason saying "I'm scared," alright, when the line's actually "I'm afraid," alright. And also on Mad TV, the character Dot saying look how small or look how little my gloves are, but I thought she was saying look how small my gloves are for some reason. And also, um, I'm going to tell you about a couple that happened in the end of Child's Play 2, which is why I have the picture of the face of the Jack in the Box on here, which interestingly enough, unless they appear in like the closet when he's beating Miss Kettlewell, I don't recall seeing the Jack in the Box or the scissors that are on the poster and in the preview in the movie, but they do that sometimes. But anyway, so here's the two from the end of that movie. The first one is, and these both happen when they're in the factory. The first one is when Andy melts Chucky with that nozzle thing, and Kyle asks him, "What did you do?" or "What did you do to him?" I can't remember exactly which way she says it, but I could have sworn that Andy responds by saying, "I melted him," with kind of like maybe a twisted grin, like he was happy he did it. But now when I watched the movie, he didn't have a response at all. And the second one was when they put the tube thing in his mouth and explode his head. I remembered a piece of his head, and not just any piece, but the piece of his head that had his eyeball in it landing in the vat and sinking into it into the hot wax. But now that didn't happen. And I mean, I guess that makes sense because in the beginning of Child's Play 3, which was supposed to be 6 years later, um, uh, you get that scene where they're picking the body up with that machine and it stabs into it and makes the blood, go across the vat of hot wax. And that's what brings Chucky back to life in this one. And you would have, I mean, that makes more sense to me because that it wouldn't have happened in the beginning of that movie, at least, because the workers would have noticed it floating there all that time and it wouldn't have taken that long to sink into there to have happened at the beginning of that. But I thought it did happen in Child's Play too. You know, I don't know. It's just a strange thing. And I have another bonus one for you. This one is for fans of the 90s. If you remember a show about a kid named Eddie McDowd who was turned into a dog and he had to do 100 good deeds to get turned back into a human. And interestingly enough, they canceled the show before he actually got turned back into a human, which was kind of a bummer. But anyway, this one's about the name of the show, and it's called 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd. But for some reason, I thought it was called 100 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowd because he, in fact, had to do 100 good deeds. I don't know, it's just strange. So if anybody remembers any of these happening the way that I have described them, I'd like you to tell me in the comments. You could watch my other video, Mandela Effect Reversed, and that I talk about in that one, the Eye of the Tiger lyrics being reversed. So if you want to know more about that, watch that video. But if you remember any of the Mandela Effect examples I have listed in this video as being how I described them instead of how they originally were, let me know. I would be interested to know if there's anyone who shares in what I have thought about this, because that's the whole point of the Mandela Effect, that it's shared wrong memories. But yeah, so like I said, this is what I remembered, and I wanted to tell you all about it. And I guess I'll talk to you again in the next video, but that's all I have for this one. So hope you enjoyed it, and tell me what you think in the comments. All right, bye.